very much excited, over enthusiastic to learn things about malaria. So without further ado, let us start with malaria. Okay. So malaria, if you see earlier, it was thought that it was considered that malaria is transmitted, is caused due to foul air. Okay, that is the reason it was given the name malaria. Mal means foul. Area, this comes from air. This word malaria, mal means foul. Okay, or bad, foul or bad. Okay, so from here this word malaria has come into existence. But do we know that it is caused by bad air? Tell me.
No, sir.
No, no. So what happened is in 1880. Okay, in 1880. Okay, what happened is there was a person. Okay, Charles Leveran. Charles Leveran, okay, discovered Plasmodium, which is a causative agent of malaria. Causative agent of malaria. Okay, then Lancey first suspected relation between malaria and mosquito. Okay, between malaria and mosquito, there may be some relationship. Okay, and if you see Sir Ronald Ross, okay, Sir Ronald Ross, Indian. Okay, in British time he was in India only, right? In Secunderabad.
Yes, sir.
So 1897. In 1897, discovered and confirmed relation between mosquito and malaria. So he discovered that this malaria, okay, the malaria, it is caused by Plasmodium. Okay, and he discovered how he discovered the relationship. He saw the oocytes. Okay, he saw the oocytes of Plasmodium in stomach of mosquito, and he discovered that the Plasmodium is completing its life cycle in the body of mosquito. So he said that it's not caused by bad air, rather it is caused by Plasmodium. Okay, he even got Nobel Prize for it. Right. The life cycle was discovered by Grassi. Okay, so the whole thing, discovery of life cycle of malarial parasite. Okay, Short, Gram, and Grassi. Okay, these are the people who have given the life cycle, so we can ignore that part. Now we know that what is the causative agent now, tell me? Plasmodium, right?
Plasmodium, sir.
Causative agent now, if you see, malaria is caused by four known species of Plasmodium. Okay, malaria is caused by 4 known species of Plasmodium in humans. It can affect others also, but in humans, if you see, okay, it is caused by 4 known species. It can also affects birds, reptiles, okay, rats, etc. Right? So different types of Plasmodium will be found in humans. 4 known species are there. Okay. So what are those 4 known species? Okay. And what type of malaria they cause? Let us see. Okay. So in the form of a table, I will give you.
So 1 second scroll up now, sir.
1 second, wait.
Okay.
Let me just draw this table. Okay, so here we'll take the Plasmodium, the species of Plasmodium. Okay, and the name of the disease that it causes, like the different types of malaria. Na? Okay, then the incubation period, what time will it take to multiply in the body, and the time duration when it shows its effect, means repetition of fever. Okay, so here we are taking the Plasmodium species. What you want from up, which part you need? A paragraph we have to show, this one paragraph. Plasmodium species. Okay, then here disease. Okay, incubation period. Okay, and the repetition of fever. You know the classical thing about malaria is there will be repetition of fever. Mr. Ashraf, switch off your mic. So in malaria, there is a repetition of fever, right? That is the classical thing about malaria. Because see, if there is a repetition of fever after 2 days or 3 days, only then the doctor suggests you to take a test for malaria. Otherwise, it could be a normal fever also. Okay. So Plasmodium species, if you see, first let us talk about the Plasmodium vivax. Plasmodium vivax. Plasmodium vivax causes tertian malaria. It causes tertian malaria. Why it is causing tertian malaria? Because see here, after 48 hours, fever is repeated. Means after 48 hours means on 3rd day. Okay, tertian. Okay, this is how the word has, right? Or you can also call it as benign tertian malaria. Okay, benign tertian malaria or vivax malaria, because caused by Plasmodium vivax. Okay, the incubation period, if you see, it is of around 14 days. The incubation period is of 14 days, right? Then the next species is Plasmodium ovale. Plasmodium ovale. Okay, it causes again mild tertian malaria. Okay, it's not very severe, or we can say ovale malaria. Okay, so tell me what after how many days repetition of fever will be there? tertian only, right? So after
28.
48 hours or on
Third day.
third day. Okay. Incubation period here also 14 days. So quite similar. Okay, but just the species is different. Okay. Next one. Next one, if you see, quite a fearsome one. Plasmodium falciparum.
Yes, sir.
Plasmodium falciparum. It causes a very dangerous type of malaria called as subtertian malaria. Subtertian malaria. Okay, or malignant tertian malaria, because here infection spreads throughout the body. Okay, or cerebral malaria, or another name, black water fever. Okay, the incubation period is for around 12 days. Okay, see, subtertian, it is not called a tertian directly, subtertian malaria. Okay, so after around 24 to 48 hours, sometimes in between this also. Okay, so on an average, we can say on third day or after one day also. Okay, late second day or on the early third day, there could be fever. Okay, but the point subtertian is little bit less than third day. Okay, then last one, last species. Okay, that is the Plasmodium malariae. Plasmodium malariae. Okay, it causes quartan malaria. Quartan means fever will be after 72 hours
22 hours.
on fourth day, with a gap of 3 days. On the fourth day, okay, there will be a fever, and the incubation period is variable around 27 to 30 days. So incubation period is comparatively longer. Okay, got the point about the causative agent. Okay,
Yes, sir. Yes.
now the mode of transmission. Mode of transmission, if you see. How is it transmitted? We already know. It is transmitted by the bite of female Anopheles mosquito. It is transmitted by the bite of. Arey, how slow you are, man? How slow you are? We have completed the table. The whole table is visible also here. Since the starting of the class, one paragraph, one table. And it is already 20 minutes. In 20 minutes, you cannot take one table also, very slowly we are taking, even though you are not taking it. Or else you are waiting for me to complete the whole thing and you are thinking to take a screenshot. Is it so?
Yes, sir.
If it is so, I cannot help you out, man. Because slowly we are scrolling down. Okay, so that will not be possible that you want to take the whole screenshot in one screen. That will not be possible. I'm doing this so that you write.
Otherwise, so otherwise at last of the total explanation we can.
No, because we don't have that much time. I have another class to take after. So that is the reason I'm telling you, you write hand in hand. Listen and keep on writing. So mode of transmission, if you see, it is transmitted by bite of female Anopheles mosquito. Female Anopheles mosquito. Okay, so here I can say that Plasmodium . Plasmodium is a digenetic parasite. Okay, digenetic parasite means it requires two hosts to complete its life cycle. So to complete its life cycle, it requires two hosts. Okay, so the two hosts, if you see, two hosts of Plasmodium, if you take, in this, we have the mosquito, the female Anopheles mosquito, and man. Out of these two, tell me who will act as the primary host?
Human body.
Female and
So mosquito.
Female Anopheles and human. Okay, so in this, the female Anopheles is primary host and human is the secondary host.
Sir, it will damage only human, right? Not female Anopheles.
Have patience. Have patience. Before the story, I cannot tell you the summary, right? So, female Anopheles acts as a primary host. Why? Because sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction of Plasmodium. Occurs in the body of mosquito. Okay, so sexual cycle occurs. So in case of mosquito, there will be sporogony and gamogony. Gamogony, that is sexual cycle. Okay, and sporogony. Okay, formation of spores. Okay, formation of spores by asexual mode of reproduction. Okay, sporogony, it is formation of spores by asexual reproduction. Okay, whereas in case of human, only asexual. I will have to mute everyone if you don't want to.
Sir, no, sir.
Who was it then creating the disturbance?
Sir, make me co-host, sir. I'll take care.
So just make me, sir. I'll take.
Srijan, I can't trust you, man. I cannot trust you. You are the one always switching on the mic many times.
Sir, make no one host and continue the class, sir.
Acha. So over here, if you see, only asexual mode of reproduction occurs. Earlier, people used to be quiet. I don't know from this week onwards what happened to you all, what has gotten into you all. Okay, and that asexual mode of reproduction is called as schizogony. Okay, so the schizogony is nothing but it is a mode of asexual development. Okay, so the trophozoite is nothing but the adult stage, or we can say mature stage. Okay, so trophozoite may divide asexually. Okay, to produce it will produce multiple, okay, multiple daughters, okay, multiple daughters will be produced, okay. Generally multiple fission will occur, not the binary fission or something like that, rather multiple fission will occur, okay. Is it clear? So this is nothing but a schizogony, not only trophozoite, okay, it is sporozoite also can divide, sporozoite or trophozoite, anything can be dividing here, right? So this type of life cycle occurs in the case of female as well as male, okay. So it will include gamogony, sexual cycle, sporogony, asexual cycle in mosquito, and schizogony, okay. And schizogony also in humans. Schizogony in humans, it is of 3 types, we can say. Three types means it occurs in 3 stages. Okay, so one will be pre-erythrocytic schizogony, means before entering into erythrocytes, they will undergo one schizogony, then erythrocytic schizogony, okay, inside the erythrocytes, okay, and then there will be post-erythrocytic schizogony, okay. After completion of erythrocytic cycle, again they go outside the erythrocytes and may again divide, okay, that is post-erythrocytic schizogony. And we can give one more term for pre and post erythrocytic schizogony, that is exoerythrocytic schizogony. Okay, this also exoerythrocytic schizogony. Why? Why we are saying it is an exoerythrocytic schizogony? Anyone?
So it's outside erythrocytic stage.
Yes. See, as this schizogony is occurring outside, pre or post, both are occurring outside erythrocytes, right? So they will be called as exoerythrocytic schizogony. So if they are occurring outside the erythrocytes, so here we know that in RBC, na? Erythrocyte means in RBC. Then where does this schizogony occur? In hepatocytes. What are hepatocytes? Cells of liver. Okay, here also in hepatocytes. Okay, in hepatocytes it can occur. Right? Got the point? The different 3 types of schizogony. Now we will see the life cycle of Plasmodium. Okay, let us see the life cycle of Plasmodium. In India, most commonly, the malaria is caused by Plasmodium vivax. Okay, so let us see the life cycle of Plasmodium vivax. Okay, or simply life cycle of Plasmodium. See, students, first common thing I will give you, okay, representation, I can say diagrammatic representation, okay, for the different stages of the life cycle that occur in the case of a human as well as in the case of a mosquito. Okay, so what we'll do is, line I will draw first to show the human part as well as the mosquito part. So here we will be seeing life cycle in humans. Okay, and here life cycle in mosquito. Okay, now one by one we'll be going on with the life cycle. See, in a human, how does it start? With a mosquito bite, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
With a mosquito bite. So let us say this is the hand of a human. Okay. Okay. So let us say a very healthy looking mosquito. Has come, visited the human. Don't go with the size of the human hand and mosquito. Okay. So let us say mosquito. Okay. So this is an infected mosquito. Infected mosquito. So mosquito, why they come to human? Why they bite human? Tell me.
Sir, they need a human blood
They need
for
to make eggs, no, sir. For that, they need human blood.
Very good. Okay. See, the female mosquito, okay, in order to produce the egg, will require albumin. Okay, they require albumin, and they don't have albumin. Okay, so what happens? They take this albumin from human blood in our blood plasma. Do you remember in tissues we discussed? In blood plasma, there is albumin protein, right? Okay,
Most abundant.
so they can use up those albumin. Okay, so now it is taking the blood meal. Okay, so when it needs to take blood, okay, when it needs to take blood, if blood comes out of your blood vessel, it will clot or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Definitely it will clot. Okay, then is it of any use to mosquito?
No, sir.
No. Okay,
No.
what mosquito does is it will inject saliva. Okay, and the saliva of mosquito will contain one anticoagulant. Okay, it will contain anticoagulant. So along with the saliva, okay, very important thing here you should remember, the sporozoite. The sporozoite, this is the infective stage. Sporozoite is injected along with saliva. So along with saliva, what is happening now? Sporozoite has entered, right? So this sporozoite, it is a plasmodium only. Okay, plasmodium one stage it is. So it is the ineffective stage. Okay, how did sporozoite come into salivary glands and how it came into saliva? We'll discuss that also when we talk about the life cycle in mosquito. Okay, now got the point. Who is entering into the human body? Sporozoite. Okay, these sporozoites, they enter into the blood. Okay, so if anything enters into the blood, we know our immune system will try to cope up with it. It will try to attack. But what is happening? You know, these sporozoites, they are very intelligent. Okay, within 30 hours, within half an hour, 30 minutes, not hours, within half an hour, they will escape from the blood. Okay, and this sporozoite, if you see, they enter into the liver. Okay, they enter liver. Okay, they enter into the liver within 30 minutes. So within 30 minutes, all the sporozoite will be gone from the blood. So now your immune system, can it do anything? Tell me.
No, sir.
No, because these sporozoites, they have entered into the liver cells. Okay, they enter into the hepatic cells. Now let us make one liver cell. I'll make a liver cell like this. Liver cell. Okay, and let us say this was the sporozoite. Generally, it is a sickle-shaped one. Okay, it has entered. Sporozoite has entered. Right now, when it enters into the liver, okay, it starts dividing. Okay, now slowly it becomes a little bit larger. The liver, it will occupy the space in the liver cell. Okay, it will occupy the whole space of the liver cell. Has become larger. Now this liver cell will be called as the schizont. Okay, it will be called schizont and will start dividing. Okay. Now within the liver cell, around thousands of small cells will be formed. Okay, spindle-shaped small merozoites, around 1,000. In this way, see, asexually only it has divided, right? Okay, so these are called as what? These are called as the merozoites. Merozoites. Okay, and this is found by multiple fission. Here I will write multiple fission. Okay, multiple fission is occurring here, right? And what happens is after the multiple fission is completed, now this liver cell will rupture. Okay, the liver cell ruptures, and when the liver cell ruptures, what will happen? These merozoites will be released into the blood. Okay, these are the merozoites. Okay, released in the empty spaces. Okay, into sinus of liver and veins. Okay, so it will be released. Now what happens is these merozoites, these are the first generation merozoites, right? So remember, the first generation merozoites are called as cryptozoites. All are merozoites only, but in order to understand, we have given certain names to them. Okay, the first generation, first form, right? Now these merozoites, okay, what they do? The cryptozoites, they enter into a new liver cell. These can enter into a new liver cell. Okay, when they enter into the new liver cell, again the same cycle will occur. Again, this cycle only will get repeated. Okay, got the point? So this cyclical process is called as what? Schizogony, right? What type of schizogony it is? Tell me. What type of schizogony it is? It is pre-erythrocytic schizogony, right?
Yes, sir.
Pre-erythrocytic schizogony or exoerythrocytic schizogony or hepatic schizogony also you can say. Okay, so when after the new cycle, after another new cycle, okay, when again the merozoites are released, the second generation merozoites, they are called as, okay, these are called as metacryptozoites. They are called as metacryptozoites. Got it? So first generation cryptozoites, second generation metacryptozoites. Now, what happens? This second generation one, okay, they can now infect RBCs. Infects RBCs. Okay. So see, what happened is after the entry of sporozoite, okay, after the entry of sporozoite, what happened? The sporozoite escaped from the blood, right? The sporozoites escaped from the blood, okay, and they're reappearing when they're infecting the RBCs, right? They're reinfecting the RBCs and re-entering the blood. So the time gap between the entry of sporozoites and first appearance of pathogen in the blood, okay, it is called as the pre-patent period. Okay, so here we get a point of pre-patent period. Okay, so it is time gap between entry and first appearance in blood, entry of pathogen only. Okay, so this is called as pre-patent period, and in case of Plasmodium vivax, okay, it is around 8 days. Did you see the symptoms till now? No, no. Till now symptoms are not appear. So pre-patent period is around 8 days. It is not the incubation period. It's not the incubation period. Remember, incubation period is entry of pathogen and first appearance of symptoms. Till now symptoms have not appeared. Okay. Now when it infects the RBC, the merozoites, they enter into the RBCs we are saying, right? So I'll make one RBC. I'll make circular one from the upper side, let us say, we are saying, not from the sides. She is as a spindle shape. Okay. So this is, let us say, RBC. Okay. And in this, there is a pathogen has entered. Okay. As a result, now we make one more, in which the pathogen has occupied its space. Okay. Now within the RBC, what happens is this particular merozoite, it starts feeding upon the hemoglobin. Okay, upon the different things present in the RBC, and it becomes large. Okay, and when it is feeding, it will develop a vacuole and it will push its own nucleus towards one side, and a large vacuole will develop. As a result, how is it looking? Tell me. It is looking like a signet ring, right?
Yes, sir.
We discussed that. Okay, so this is a vacuole. Okay, so now here we can say this particular stage is called a schizont. It's called as the schizont stage. Schizont means a large cell. Okay, with a pathogen present in. Okay, this is the nucleus vacuole. Okay, this is the RBC. So this is how it is going on developing. Now after it becomes large, okay, slowly it attains a amoeboid shape. Now it has to divide. Okay, schizogony only, right? Okay, it has to divide, so it becomes slowly little bit amoeboid. Okay, so this is amoeboid stage. This is the amoeboid stage. Okay, after attaining the amoeboid stage, okay, it undergoes repeated divisions. Okay, it undergoes repeated divisions. As a result of repeated divisions, we can say there is a formation of around 12 to 24 merozoites will be formed. Okay, these are the merozoites. These are also merozoites. Okay, so these merozoites, if you see, okay, these merozoites, they could be called as the metacryptomerozoites. Okay, so these merozoites, metacryptomerozoites, these merozoites, if you see, they rupture. Okay, when they are feeding upon the hemoglobin, they rupture the hemoglobin, and that hemoglobin, ruptured hemoglobin, it appears as small dotted structures within them. Okay, and in the RBCs also. Okay, these are called as Schaffner's dots. Okay, these are called as Schaffner's dots. Okay, these are the broken corpuscles, right? The iron in the hemoglobin breaks and that develops it, right? Now what happens is, after completion of its cycle, this RBC, okay, this RBC, it will now rupture. Okay, the RBC ruptures, and when RBC will rupture, what will happen? It will release the merozoite. Okay, let us say RBC has ruptured. Okay, when RBC ruptures, the merozoites will be released. Okay, these merozoites are released, and these merozoites, when they are released, okay, there is a toxin called hemozoin. Hemozoin. Okay, it is a toxin. This toxin is also released, and this hemozoin causes fever. This hemozoin causes fever. Okay, so merozoites are released. These merozoites, after that, they reinfect new RBC. Reinfects RBC. Okay, when it reinfects RBC, in case of Plasmodium vivax, okay, this erythrocytic schizogony, okay, this cycle is called as what? Erythrocytic schizogony, na? Okay, so this erythrocytic schizogony, it takes around 48 hours for its completion. Okay, so say, let us say first time when the hemozoin was released, the person will experience fever and chills, right? Okay, this will show the symptoms. This will show the symptoms. Okay, but for again completion of life cycle, again completion of the life cycle of this erythrocytic schizogony, it will take 48 hours, right? Okay, so that is the reason after 48 hours, after 2 days, on the third day, there will be repetition of fever, because once all the RBC that were affected has released the merozoites and hemozoin into the blood, okay, for again a new cycle, it will take 48 hours. Okay, that is the reason there is a repetition of fever after 48 hours. Got it? Why there is repetition of fever after 48 hours?
Sir.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And now see, like this, the erythrocytic schizogony, it goes on. Okay. Sometimes these merozoites, they may reinfect. Okay. They may reinfect. Here I'll just write. May reinfect. Reinfect liver. Okay. So when they reinfect liver, liver will act as a reservoir tissue for the Plasmodium. In that case, even if you give medicines, okay, they will not die. This Plasmodium will not die because they will be present inside the liver cells. Okay, so the person will act as a reservoir. Okay, you will think, for example, if a person got malaria, okay, got cured, but the Plasmodium, let us say, it entered into the liver once again after the erythrocytic cycle, right? So after this, if it goes back to infect the liver, that cycle will be called as what? Post-erythrocytic schizogony. In this case, we call it as post-erythrocytic schizogony. Okay, so in this way, 3 types of schizogony may occur. Okay, the same cycle, the liver cycle that we have seen, the same cycle will occur, but it has occurred after completion of erythrocytic schizogony. Got the point about the 3 types of schizogony?
So
Any
one
doubts with
doubt.
respect? Ask.
Sir, after this liver cell ruptures, a part of these cells will go they'll repeat the cycle, sir.
In liver,
Sir,
continuously this will be going on. Okay. After a few generations, they will be released. In some cases, when after erythrocyte is going, again they re-enter, then it will act as the reservoir. Okay. After a few generations, all the merozoites from the liver will be released. Okay. Is it clear?
Sir,
Any other doubt?
sir, can you zoom out your page, sir, once?
Wait. In humans, still it is left. Wait.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes what happens in this RBC, when 2 or 3 cycles like this, it is going on, right? Okay. Some RBCs, okay, which has this plasmodium, instead of rupturing, okay, in this RBCs, what will happen is these RBCs, these merozoites, the same merozoites that become larger. Okay, they become larger. Okay, so this is an RBC only. Okay, this is we can say mature. Okay, mature type of merozoite. Okay, so mature type of merozoite, what happens is it will develop into a gametocyte. Okay, so in this, these are not merozoites, rather we call here as gametocytes. Not gametes, these are gametocytes. Can form gametes. Okay, and see, the RBC which contained trophozoite was called a schizond, right? This is containing the gametocyte. This RBC will be called as gamon. It is called as gamon. It contains gametocytes, right? Now, when a mosquito bites a person who has this gametocytes, okay, then it enters into the body of mosquito. Enters mosquito with blood meal. Now let us say a person who is suffering from malaria, he will have in his blood this gamons, right? Gamons that are having the gametocytes. Okay, so these gametocytes, they will not form gametes in the human. Why? We'll discuss later. Okay, when we talk about the mosquito cycle, I will tell you. Okay, why in humans they have not formed gametes and reproduced, fertilization did not occur. Rather, this gametocyte along with RBC, because when the mosquito drinks blood, gametocytes also will enter along with the RBC, right? They enter into the mosquito. Okay, so now tell me, infective stage for mosquito is what? Gametocyte stage. So this gametocyte stage is there, na? It is the ineffective stage for.
And then reproduction takes place, sir.
See, here also they are reproducing only. Here also they are reproducing only. Na? Asexually, they have multiplied, right? That is the mode of reproduction. But in the case of mosquito, another type of reproduction will occur. Okay, so we will have to continue in this cycle only. Still more smaller, I will have to make it so that you can see it even smaller. It won't be visible.
Visible only, sir.
Visible?
In laptop it is visible.
In laptop only it will be.
Yes, sir.
Upper one, that labeling you can leave it. I hope it is clear now about
Yes,
the
sir.
human cycle in human. About the mosquitoes cycle, we will take in our next class. Right? Then I will give you some points. If you want points, we can give you in the form of points also.
Sir, yes, sir, points would be better.
Okay, then.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.